She give me top and I pipe down. Hey, she asked for top and I tell the whole pipe down. Bitch, give me pop like right now. Yeah, bitch, right now. I pop a Zango, let's out. She give me top and I pipe down. Hey, she asked for top and I tell the whole pipe down. Bitch,
What's up, guys? Record Easy back at you another My Hero Academia manga chapter review. And this time we got chapter 288. And this chapter, just off rip, it was a solid chapter. I feel like a lot of setup, a lot of exposition, a lot of setup. Because it's a good breather chapter, you know, because like we've had a lot of revelations, a lot of hype, a lot of just intensity in this arc in general. It's good to have, you know, like a chapter where we get to breathe a little bit and kind of get to see what some of our other characters have been doing during this battle between All for One and One for All. So that's exactly what's going on. Like we get to catch up and see where Gigantamakia is at, still rampaging through towns like it's nothing. And the heroes are still trying to rally, still trying to keep civilians safe and at least just slow down Giganta just a little bit, because I feel like they've acknowledged the fact that they can't stop the guy. So if they can just slow him down so they can save as many lives as possible, I think that's what they're aiming for. But real quick, before we go even further than that, let's all just address the number 3 elephant in the room. Like, we all think that guy at the beginning of the chapter is Best Genius, right? Based on like the fiber cables from Vigilantes. And shout out to Horikoshi for making Vigilantes relevant within the main story, you know? Like, oftentimes we see spin-offs and other spin-offs of like a series, and they don't have much crossover or much value other than like an extension of the world for, you know, consumers to get just a little bit more of their favorite series. But Horikoshi has shown us time and time again, like, no, read Vigilantes. Like, he's gonna be taking from it, he's gonna be borrowing from it, and he's gonna be calling back to it in the main series. And that's genius on his part. He's basically got like 2 mangas to flesh out his world right now, plus team up. But let's get back on subject, shall we? We all think that's Best Genius because of the big cables. So is Genius gonna try and like turn like on some Puppet Master time and just like pick up Machia on the cables and just like try and stop him that way? But that would be pretty hype to see, like Genius come back on that big helicarrier and just like basically pluck Machia out like off the ground and hoist him into the air. That'd be hype. Beast. Shout out Best Genius. But yeah, and then we're back on Machia's back. It's crazy that like they're like the entire like the core members of like the League of Villains are really just on Machia's back plus Skeptic. They're all just kind of hanging out on there, just like catching a ride to Shigaraki. So they're hanging out. Skeptic's doing his thing on the laptop. Mr. Compress is, you know, talking to Skeptic about the satellite. You know, just typical My Hero banter, light comedy. And then Mr. Compress points out the UA kids, Sue and Uraraka, and Toga gets really excited because she wanted to ask, like, I genuinely feel like to a degree that based off of certain interactions that some of the core League of Villain members really feel like the UA Class 1A kids are like legitimate heroes. Because like what happened to Twice with Hawks, Toga is just like in her head and she wants to ask, her mind, like she views them as her friends when not really, but we get what she says when she says that. But she wants to know, like, are people like her and Twice, like, do heroes care about people like them too, like that aren't normal people, quote unquote? Because society outcast them, and like as we know based off MVA, like and Horikoshi's writing is so skilled in that manner. Like we saw that happen to Shigaraki. Nobody helped him. Everybody was afraid of him. Nobody gave that kid a helping hand, and now it's coming back to bite all of Japan in the ass. But yeah, so after Mr. Compress points them out, she gets her gear from him. And then Spinner gives a great speech about like he knows that, you know, on their side of things, they're free to do whatever they want, but they're still like a family, and they want Toga to come back to them alive and okay because they just lost a member of their family in twice. So I felt like that was a great touch, and that's something that my hero does, Horikoshi does extremely well. He makes you care tremendously about both sides. We're invested equally into both sides, the heroes and the villains. So Toga hops off Michiya. How did she get off of that man's back with him just tearing through everything and not get caught up in like the collateral damage, like just the debris around him being moved, buildings being pushed aside, all of that? Like, how did she hop off of his back and not like accidentally get caught up in that? But I guess that's why she's a high-ranking member of their army. But so we go back to Uraraka, Sue, and Toga's so crafty. She found some old lady, took her blood, and like leads Uraraka away from Sue and the rest of the relief efforts. And one thing I felt was really interesting, in my opinion, was just the fact that Toga would do all of this just to have a conversation with Uraraka. And Uraraka, she kind of has that response after their initial like reveal that it was Toga, and that Toga, because Uraraka knows how Toga's quirk works. So the fact that she had the appearance of an old lady means that she took some old lady's blood in this kind of chaos and madness and destruction. So that really, like, Horikoshi did a good job of drawing like Uraraka's face. Like, you could see the anger in her face. Like, the fact that she's here in this moment with Toga means that she's not out there in the field saving lives. And we get like a little callback, flashback panel of when she was holding Night Eye in the overhaul arc, and he was basically dying in her arms, and she couldn't really do anything to save the guy. And she didn't want to feel that helpless again. So here we are, like in the middle of the biggest shit show Japan has seen in quite a while, with Gigantamakia just running through everything, and she's not in a position to save like innocent lives because she has to deal with Toga right now. And Toga, like she says, Uraraka says that, she's like, you did all that just to ask me a question? And Toga was like, just to ask a question? Like, she was taken back by it in a way, because she viewed her question as important. But Uraraka is like, there's a time for questions and there's a time for action, and now is the time for action. But I've been waiting for the two of them to cross paths again. Like, I've been waiting for the run back, and I hope we get a little scuffle, a little fight to see. Because like Uraraka, every time we see her, we see more and more how she's improving combat, how to maximize her support items so she could do more with her quirk, so she could have more mobility in the air when she has that. Now she has the wires, and she got that idea from Deku, if I'm not mistaken. But that's really cool. So I'm excited to see what new tricks Uraraka has up her sleeves if we do end up getting a fight with Toga. For all we know, because Uraraka says, and I quote, like, I want to save as many lives as I can, for Toga, that might be enough for her to just back off. Because Uraraka is not, she didn't say like a specific kind of life. She said as many lives as she can right now. Because Uraraka is a pure hero type in the same way Deku is. They just want to help people regardless of who you are, what you are. They just want to save you if you need saving. And that's why Ochako and Izuku are so endearing, in my opinion. But yeah, like, we're on break till November 1st. That's pretty much the end of the chapter right there. Like I said, not too much happened, just some dialogue, some setup, but a lot is going to happen. And briefly, if you made it this far into the video, all my reviews moving forward are going to be on Sundays with the official release of the manga on the Viz app. So no more fan translations on the channel for me, guys. And yeah, this chapter was great. I'm so excited to see Uraraka and Toga interact again. Hopefully, like I said, we get a little fight between the two of them coming up. But this was a great chapter, man. Horikoshi, and I'm so excited because we're on a bit of a break till November 1st. But Horikoshi, whenever he takes a break and he has time to rest, he always comes back in his bag. So I'm expecting a Toya reveal. I'm expecting Endeavor to be slandered across the media, for there to reign some more destruction from Gigantomachia. I'm here for it. And so are all of you. And thank you for your love and support, guys. As always, I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you for giving me your time. And as always, I've been Reezy. You guys just got wrecked, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.